Hello and welcome back to the Nexus Gaming Series. I am the Crushinator and I will be your host for tonight's matchup between Rise and Grind and I Must Feed. This Division D East matchup, my second one of the evening, coming at you live this time, no replay. You'll see these teams duke it out live. Our lobby is rearing, nearly ready to go. So let's take you to the tail of the tape. Let you know about the matchup this evening. Rise and Grind with their small logo. Look at that tiny logo. Coming in at 4-2 on the match record, 9-6 on the map record. Currently, best maps 4-0 on Tomb of the Spider Queen and 4-2 on Infernal Shrines. Best and most notable heroes here for Rise and Grind, they are 6-0 on Johanna, 5-2 on Cassia, and 7-5 on Brightwing. That is a lot of Brightwing games coming in from Rise and Grind. I Must Feed coming into this series 1-3 on the match record, 5-4 on the maps. They're good, best maps so far. They are 2-0 on Dragonshire and 3-1 on Infernal Shrines. So both teams very strong records here on Infernal Shrines. Best heroes thus far, they've got a slightly more spread roster here. 3-0 on Johanna, so the undefeated Johanna teams going 1-on-1 tonight. 3-1 on the Leoric and 4-2 on the Jaina. Let's head over to the map screen. Let you know about the maps as they come down today. Rise and Grind chose to ban out Cursed Hollow and Braxis Holdout. Excuse me. I Must Feed banning away Towers of Doom and Tomb of the Spider Queen. In game number 1, look at that, we're going to Infernal Shrines. Very familiar map, very strong map for both of these teams. And there it is. Infernal Shrines draft is underway, so let's jump right into it and see who will jump out ahead in this series. I Must Feed is first to act here. I'm interested to see whether they want to ban away comforts or if they feel like the meta picks are too important. They are going to start with the Cassia ban, the premier assassin for Rise and Grind, so it looks like they're trying to throw them off their game right off the jump here. Rise and Grind will not be able to control that first pick. That makes me wonder whether... I don't think you ban away Johanna. I think you're fine with giving it away. Diva will be banned away here by Rise and Grind. Followed up by a quick Sonya ban coming in from I Must Feed. Sonya can do some good work. She requires a particular enemy team comp to thrive, at least in my opinion. But her double soak potential, her camp steal potential, and just straight up sieging cannot be ignored on Infernal Shrines for sure. As we see, Rise and Grind is going to ban away Deckard. That leaves first pick over to I Must Feed. We see they play a lot of Jaina, but they are going to snap up that Johanna, not wanting to give it over to Rise and Grind. Usually we don't see Johanna in that first pick position, but with the history of these two teams on the Crusader, makes sense for sure. Rise and Grind with their next two picks here. They could snap up that Brightwing. Ivan Drago going to be playing the ETC. And Eris is going to grab the Vala, an interesting, very early Vala pick. Vala, one of the flimsier high damage assassins, but her output is so good, and just having the vaults all the time makes her a very tough hero to pin down. And following up those ETC slides with the Rain of Vengeance. Very, very strong combo. Falcomer in the chat, that's right, stream number 2 here. As Night Knight is going to grab the Orphea, and Miles is going to be snapping up a Kerosene. Very interesting. That signals to me that I Must Feed is looking for very quick fights. Kerosene's throughput on healing is generally not super good, but can add a lot of extra damage, and in the late game has that level 16 cleanse on dash potential. So probably in the mood for some quick fights here as I Must Feed, as we see Lunara is banned away. Now, with Lunara banned away for Rise and Grind, to me, that screams Uther. You've got the ETC, you've got the Vala, as we're going to see Tassadar banned away by I Must Feed. I wonder if we're going to see something like an Uther Butcher come through for Rise and Grind. Or like an Uther Zarya? That's a little bit of a heavy investment. It is going to be the Brightwing, so Blaze and Brightwing. Interesting why they considered the Lunara ban then. Life DG going to be playing the Brightwing for the 13th time this season. Last dispatch on the Blaze. Last two picks coming on through here for I Must Feed. They've got their Karazim, they've got their Johanna. They need someone in the off lane versus Blaze. That's going to be Leoric, played by Sudden Bears. And Sylvanas, making it all the way down the draft order here for Lister Fiend. Brother Nature in the mage spot, possibly in the flex spot here. Sees that Leoric Sylvanas potential. Will be rounding out the draft here for Rise and Grind. It's going to be a Maiev. Interesting setup. So Maiev, they're not going for a huge wombo play. I mean, there's still some circles there. You've got possibly a strafe, you've got the combustion, you've got a mosh pit. Interesting. I didn't see Maiev in the profile. Well, game number 1 is going to be underway. We're going to see how these teams clash. Rise and Grind versus I Must Feed on Infernal Shrines. Here we go. Alrighty, loading on in here to Infernal Shrines. On the left, in the blue, we have Rise and Grind. With Ivan Drago on the ETC, Last Dispatch is playing Blaze, Life DG is on the Brightwing, Brother Nature playing Maiev, and Eris is on the Vala. On the right in the red, we have I Must Feed with Sudden Bears on the Leoric. Night Knight is playing Orphea. Miles is on the Karazim. Lister Fiend playing Sylvanas. And John Goodman is on the Johanna.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Here we go. Game number 1 is underway. ETC going to be looking for those globes on level 1, and that's the only talent to be seen so far. Looks like it is going to be a Transcendence Karazim, so building a little bit more into the extended team fights. John Goodman managing to avoid the stun of Last Dispatch, and Blister Fiend is just peppering up the members of Rise and Grind here, forcing Ivan Drago back. Life DG is going to have to use that short-range teleport, as we see Last Dispatch landing the stun onto Night Knight, and Orphea is going to fall first blood here. Brother Nature could be next, though. John Goodman catches the Condemn, goes down under the forts, though. Hits a bloodbath here on level 1. 2 kills for Rise and Grind, and a 1 in response here for I Must Feed. Falcomer figuring out what it's going to take for me to do a full-on set of exercises in the chat. Scheming. We're going to see I Must Feed on the right side camp here. Rise and Grind just going to go ahead and clear that bottom lane. Maiev going to try to catch Sudden Bears on this rotation, as the rest of Rise and Grind going to pick up the left side Khazra camp. That's going to give I Must Feed the opportunity to move onto this bottom camp here. John Goodman going to keep the anchor in the mid lane. As Blaze coming on down to try to match Sudden Bears on this rotation. Here comes Life DG. Not going to be able to get onto the point fast enough, but we may have a fight here. John Goodman catching 2 in the Condemn. The counter polymorph is there. Eris playing very far forward here. And put some extra damage onto Johanna, but it looks like I Must Feed get the 2-for-1 on the camps. early on here in Infernal Shrines. Last Dispatch could be in some trouble here. John Goodman clearing away the Khazra. Looks like Blaze will get out of there just fine. Yorick in the top lane, getting that lane pushed in. John Goodman gonna dismount Maiev on the way by as we see Karazim and Listerfiend. Miles and Listerfiend, I should say, working on this right side Shaman camp. Sudden Bears has to use the Wraith Walk to escape the 4-player pressure in the mid lane. This is John Goodman with that wave clear that Johanna so brilliantly displays. Pushes in the bottom lane. Rise and Grind taking the Shaman camp for themselves here. Blaze is going to get away from a little bit of pressure from Sylvanas and Leoric here, as we are going to have the Frozen Shrine coming up in the bottom lane for our first objective. Maiev does go in, will not find the pull onto John Goodman, but forces out the Iron Skin. Both of these teams going to start to gather around this objective, looking for level 7 here to try to get an advantage in the next fight. It's a 5v5 right away here. Brother Nature healed up by Brightwing, but it looks like I Must Feed is controlling the point for now. Ivan Drago having some trouble here trying to get by Sudden Bears. ETC is getting a bit low. Last Dispatch on the backline stuns Orphea, but ETC is going to be the first to go down while Sudden Bears manages to escape. Brother Nature now being chased out. Life DG waiting for that teleport to be back online. So I Must Feed is taking a 10 minion lead here. Maiev going on in, getting the pull onto John Goodman and Night Knight. There's the Fan of Knives, and Johanna's down. Orphea, Sylvanas, and Karazim having to back away here. They need 11 more minions, but the only one with the real poke to do it is Orphea. Sudden Bear's coming on in to try to secure some minions. Leoric's going to fall for that. Polymorph is good. Karazim is down. And Rise and Grind steal away that Punisher. First blue Frozen Punisher going to be pushing down the bottom lane. Karazim and Leoric about to respawn here. Leo will respawn in the battlefield, of course. Oh, the Polymorph onto Johanna, preventing the Iron Skin from coming out. That's going to be some extra damage onto Johanna, healed up by that Laws of Hope talent on level 1. But with this Punisher turning off the fort, this is going to be a tough engage. Double pull coming in for Brother Nature. Maiev kind of on low mana right now, not going to be able to have an extended fight. This fort is down, and we're going to see Rise and Grind start to peel on back, as all the members of I Must Feed are up and running once again. Last Dispatch going to get away from Sudden Bears for the meantime. Rise and Grind on this bottom Khazra camp. I Must Feed trying to work on the right side. Looks like Brother Nature and Life DG are going to go ahead and back, so there will be no camp invade for now. I Must Feed have to respond to this bottom push, so no camp invade for them either. As Ivan Drago and Eris get the 2-for-1 on the camps this time. Solo laners have been sort of happily double soaking this whole time. See if they can possibly get some damage onto Sudden Bears. Pops the medallion to get away from the pull. But here comes the rest of I Must Feed. John Goodman looking for a condemn onto Life DG. Will catch Last Dispatch instead. Sudden Bears has the Drain Hope attached to Blaze. It looks like Blaze is going to escape for now. John Goodman moving in, but Ivan Drago's there with the counter stun. Johanna able to walk away for the meantime. Level 10 is here for Rise and Grind. It is the containment disc actually coming out for Maiev. Interestingly, no Warden's Cage. Rain of Vengeance, Bunker, Blink Heal, and Mosh Pit coming on through for the members of Rise and Grind. Life DG moving up very aggressively, going to be caught by Johanna for now. Night Knight throwing out the auto attack. I Must Feed. They got to find level 10 here for their next engage. Very briefly, 11-9, but we're about to see 10 come through. Sudden Bears manages to escape the gank of Rise and Grind, as level 10s have now arrived for I Must Feed. John Goodman looking to go in here, finds 2 in the back line. Last Dispatch is going to be eliminated by the combo of I Must Feed. Warden's Cage out onto Johanna. The pull is good onto Night Knight, followed up by the stun of Vala, and that's Orphea down. Ivan Drago taking some big damage from Lister Fiend. ETC's gonna fall. It's a 4v3 here for I Must Feed, but Sudden Bears is pulled back in. Oh, Leo with the movement speed provided by Kerosene will manage to walk away. You saw that Entomb Eternal Feast combo coming out from I Must Feed. It's also going to be the 7-sided strike of Kerosene, Blessed Shield from Johanna, and Wailing Arrow of Sylvanas. Both sides on top of their macro once again, heading into this Shrine phase. Picking up those Shamans to push the top lane. Lister Fiend having to back here for mana. That's going to mean that I Must Feed is not going to be able to jump right on top of this Shrine as it spawns. Rise and Grind is going to set up shop here on this point. Actually going to move on up and pay some attention to the camp push for now. So, I Must Feed is going to start moving on to the objective. Are they going to peel back or continue on? It looks like the siege will continue here. Brother Nature getting caught by John Goodman. There's the Iron Skin. Oh, a very nice fall to the Wardens and a zoning Rain of Vengeance by Eris. So no gank to be had today. Got some important tools used by Maiev. Last Dispatch has been dismounted. Sylvanas stuck in the top lane. This could be the engage that Rise and Grind needs. Brother Nature going right onto the backline, wants to find a pull. Fall to the Wardens once again is going to save Maiev some health. Containment disc onto Johanna. There's the Eternal Feast is going to get 1 tick, 2 ticks. That's Leoric going down, though. Blaze trying to get away, but so slow. Oh, the jet propulsion. I think that's going to save Blaze. Lister Fiend trying to get away from Brother Nature here as Life DG with the Blink Heal, keeping Maiev nice and healthy. Polymorph is out on the Lister Fiend, but Ivan Drago is on the backline, railing in those guitar auto attacks. Only the kill onto Leoric so far, but 32 minions to 13. It looks like Rise and Grind is going to be picking up this Mortar Punisher in the mid lane. I Must Feed, taking the opportunity to back while this Punisher spawns. Gonna have to be careful with baiting this over the wall. Johanna not gonna be... Oh, looks like Johanna is gonna get here in time. Throws out the flashlight, eats the stun, but there's the polymorph. Once again, Brother Nature finds the pull onto Lister Fiend. Sylvanas in a lot of trouble here. There's the Vala burst. ETC Mosh Pit is out, going to be quickly interrupted. Miles popping the 7-sided strike to avoid the gank damage. Oh, there's another containment disc onto Johanna. Rooting John Goodman where they stand. Sudden Bear's trying to peel away for Johanna, but look at those mortar shells just destroying Johanna. Maiev with the final hit. That's 2 kills for Rise and Grind. And Life DG just throwing out those polymorphs every time a Punisher lands. Getting great follow-up from the rest of the team. So Rise and Grind get this keep wall, and they're just going to go ahead and start working on these camps. Right side Khazra has been stolen by Rise and Grind. Life DG is going to go ahead and restore those mana reserves. Right now, Maiev in the top lane. Going to put a little bit of extra damage onto Sudden Bears here, but the Wraithwalk is enough to let Leoric get away. That's camp number 2 here for Rise and Grind. Looks like they're going to be going for the trifecta here. So right now, all I Must Feed can really do is move around and do some lane maintenance. John Goodman sees Blaze. The invade will not be there, putting out some extra damage onto Blaze, actually. The jet propulsion getting caught on a bit of architecture. Will not see the stun happen. Entomb onto Life DG is there, but the Blink Heal coming out. The Rain of Vengeance peel from Eris. Oh, is being chased down. Look at that silence arrow. Maiev taken out very quickly by I Must Feed. And an aggressive rotation pays off for the red team. Unfortunately, they're not going to be able to get a whole lot of siege out of this as we see those camps pushing hard in the mid and bottom lane. Bottom lane is cleared up, moving up to mid. It is going to be an Arcane Shrine in the top. Sudden Bears, ooh, manages to stay mounted and avoid the engage of Blaze ETC. I Must Feed also down level 16 to 14 here. John Goodman thinking about it engage. This could be tough, though. The polymorph is out. Pushback happens. Condemn will catch no one. And Rise and Grind Gonna be pushed back to their fort wall. Checking in on the experience, a little bit ahead in the hero kills here is Rise and Grind, but it's the passive experience that's really starting to add up here as you see the 6 structures to 4 on the side of Rise and Grind. Left side Shaman has been picked up. Oh, Brightwing playing very forward is caught by John Goodman. Here comes the engage. Can IMF finish this? Looks like they can, and they're going to start peeling back, but John Goodman is in the thick of things. Has to throw out the Blessed Shield to confirm the peel. And that's 50 seconds without their biggest engage tool. They're going to have to move on to this point. They'll have about 30 seconds without Blessed Shield while the Shrine is active. Night Knight and Sudden Bears have to respond to this bottom lane catapult pressure, but the top fort is now under siege with Orpheus showing in the bottom lane. John Goodman trying their best to slow this push, but it looks like top fort will be poked down here by Eris. There's the Hungering Bullet, and there it goes. Leoric down on the bottom lane, just having to maintain that Maidens, take out those catapult waves. Rise and Grind is right on top of this shrine. 12 seconds till Blessed Shield is back up. They're going to have a very small window of engage here as already 16 minions have been cleared. John Goodman's going to start to move in. Gets polymorphed here. Blessed Shield is back up now. So IMF is looking for that engage. John Goodman moving on forward. There's the bunker coming out from Blaze. ETC is destroyed in the backline. There's the Silence Arrow. Blessed Shield actually whiffs. Orphea throwing out the Eternal Feast. And look at that damage coming on out here. Polymorph is good. That Sudden Bears down. John Goodman. Oh, the speed from Miles. That's going to be enough to allow the escape of Johanna. It's a 1-for-1 for now. ETC is down. Leo is down. Rise and Grind maintaining presence on this point, and that's 30 minions down, and this is going to be another Punisher going over to the blue team. Going to be pushing down the top lane here. Fort is already destroyed. Sudden Bears hightailing it on out of there. John Goodman. Oh, we've got a possible gank push here. Sudden Bears feigning a rotation. Looking to come in from the backside. Oh, did they see Night Knight? I don't think they did. Life DG's coming on through. Oh, that could have been it. That could have been the gank. John Goodman gave up there. There's the movement onto Sudden Bears. A very nicely timed Wraithwalk is going to allow Leoric to get on out of there. Punisher baited over the wall here. A lot of it going to be taken down for free. Ivan Drago looking for a slide. Brother Nature in there. Uses the Wall to the Wardens to reset the keep. Sylvanas is down. Ivan Drago with a gigantic mosh pit onto all the members of I Must Feed. It's a triple kill. Miles could be next. There goes Karazim. Sudden Bears trying to get away, but that is going to be a full team wipe for Rise and Grind. And with 30 seconds until the soonest member of I Must Feed is up, this is looking like it's going to be core and game. Punisher going to be going down here in just a moment. GG has been called, but this core is going down, and Rise and Grind has picked up the first point in this series. GG. All right, very strong performance coming in there for Rise and Grind. We saw Eris on that Vala leading the way on the hero damage, nearly 63,000 coming out from the Demon Hunter. Sylvanas, played by Listerfiend for I Must Feed, leading the way for their squad, 38,000 hero damage. Very, very nicely done. I think the story of that game is Maiev doesn't need an entire Wombo setup. If you're a good Maiev, you can just go in. Very nicely played by Brother Nature. I doubted you in draft. I shouldn't have done it. Quick look at the talents, and then we're going to go ahead and set up for game number 2. All right, game number 1 is in the books. Rise and Grind strike first. Can I Must Feed bring this back, or is this series going to come to a short close? We're going to go to the break, but when we come back, game number 2. Don't go far. Alrighty, getting set up here for game number 2, Rise and Grind versus I Must Feed. Looks like we're going to be going to Alterac Pass for game number 2. They faked me out. There's one person trying to get back into the lobby. There they go. Load on back in. Almost got a game number 2. Game number 1, Rise and Grind playing very aggressively there. Very nicely done. Maya, a real table turner there. And of course the full team wipe at the end of the game, definitely putting the exclamation point on that one. Excited to see, I don't get to see an awful lot of Alterac, to be honest with you. I think it's an interesting map. I think you can definitely throw out some alternate strategies there. Some global type shenanigans that you can't just do on every map. BioBrig. Oh, how dare they? How dare they listen to their bodies instead of keep on top of the random timetable that I've set. Oh, me. How's everyone in chat doing today? See you, Valk out there, Corix throwing out the GG. Hope you're all having a fantastic day, enjoying this D East matchup. D East was one of the last divisions I had to cast to get a full set. I think after this, I need A East to say that I've done every single division in NGS this season. And I've got them this coming Sunday. So I've got the full set. That'll be worth something someday. I don't know. Collector reference. Oh. While I'm sitting here, let me quickly check if I know what I'm talking about from Valk in terms of those limits. I'm pretty sure I'm right. That it was 50, 40, 30. Oh, you know what? I posted it in Discord. What are you doing to me, Val? Where is it? Oh, that's way gone. There was a gigantic discussion that went on in the Discord channel that I posted it in. I'm sure what I said was right. Alright, we've got our 10th player. That means we can go to the maps. Yay! Remind you of the state of the series. We'll see if my timing's better this time. Cursed Hollow, Praxis Holdout, Towers of Doom, and Tomb of the Spider Queen are banned away for this series. Infernal Shrines was chosen and won by Rise and Grind. And game number 2, Rise and Grind has chosen to take us to Alterac Pass. We're about to have a lobby. Give me that voice line. There it is. Let's jump into the draft and see what these two teams can cook up for us today. We are going in the same draft order. I Must Feed is first to act this game as well. We saw the priority onto the Johanna. We'll see if that sticks for them or if they've got something else in mind. That does put them at a 3-1 record on Johanna, so it's not like they're simply counterpicking without having any stats behind it. So it wouldn't surprise me to see the priority onto Johanna once again, though I'm interested to see whether their ban strategy will change. They're going to stick with the Cassia ban for now. Rise and Grind. They stuck with pretty well meta bans last time. We saw Diva banned away. Would expect something similar. Alterac Pass is a tougher one for Diva. I find, at least. It's a very wide map, so it can be difficult for Diva to get around. There's a lot of outlets for getting away from the bomb on the fight points, but she still does an awful lot of damage and provides a ton of disruption, which is kind of her brand. So Diva going to be banned away here by Rise and Grind. The Mephisto ban coming on through from I Must Feed. Definitely a strong Mephisto map here is Alterac Pass. There's a lot of architecture that a Mephisto can hide behind, blink over, get interrupts in, and also kind of condensed fight points. As we see the Deckard once again banned away by Rise and Grind. Similar sort of reasoning there as Mephisto. There's just, with choke points, you can just fill an entire choke point with a root. Blisterfiend going to steal away the Vala this time, so Johanna left open, but they do not want to see Eris back on the Vala this game. They said, we'll take that for ourselves. This does open up Johanna over to Rise and Grind. We'll see whether they want to fit that hero into their comp or if they've got other things in mind. They're just going to go back to the old faithful here. 7th game of Johanna for Rise and Grind. Looks like Life DG actually picking the Johanna this time. I have a feeling that's going to change here. I'm going to go ahead and say Ivan Drago's probably playing the Johanna. But we'll see at the end here. Sudden Bear's going to snap in a Sonya, and John Goodman going to be playing Muradin. Interesting choices there for sure. Muradin can take advantage of the weird architecture. Sonya can solo camps if necessary. Then there's also just a strong solo laner. Always got to think about camp clear here on Alterac Pass. That middle knoll camp is so important. Rise and Grind going to ban away the Chromie, trying to take away another option for poking out extra damage onto the objective points. I Must Feed, they're staring down the Johanna Brightwing once again here. They've already picked away the Vala. The other two heroes last game were Blaze and Maiev. They're going to take away the Tassadar, though, trying to limit the wave clear options of Rise and Grind. Next two picks coming out. They can flex into their damage, they can flex into their offlaner. They see Sonya across the way already, so they don't necessarily need to build into double damage here if they don't want to. Interesting to see what they'll pick up. It's going to be a Stitches from Eris, and Medivh is going to be picked up by Brother Nature. We've got a full-on fiesta going on the side of Rise and Grind right now. Eris is on Stitches, Life DG is on Johanna. Saving their damage to the last pick here. Anduin comes out for Night Knight. I feel like Miles has got to go on Greymane. No, it's going to be Deathwing. Well, that's certainly one way to do it. Just saying, hey, if you guys don't want to take any damage, I'll just take the biggest health pool in the game. Why not? That does leave Greymane open, though, into Deathwing, so we'll see whether that gets picked up. I think that's the best pick at this point, but we'll see what Rise and Grind has to say about it. There it is, last pick. Greymane coming on through for Last Dispatch. We're going to keep an eye on the heroes. Are they going to switch? Eris still on the Stitches, Life DG on the Johanna. What are they doing over there? I'm looking. You can't catch me off guard. Okay, they're switching it up. Rise and Grind going in on I Must Feed Alterac Pass. Here we go. Alrighty, here we go. Game number 2 on Alterac Pass. On the left in the blue, we have Rise and Grind. Eris is going to be playing the Stitches. Life DG is on that Johanna. Ivan Drago is going to be playing Brightwing. Last Dispatch is on the Greymane. And it is Brother Nature on the Medivh. On the right in the red, we have I Must Feed with Lister Fiend playing the Vala. Miles is on the Sonya. John Goodman is playing Muradin. Night Knight is on the Anduin. And Sudden Bears is playing the Deathwing. Here we go. Game number 2 on Alterac Pass is underway. Stitch is going to be looking for those Savor the Flavor stacks on 1. Medivh, of course, looking to be stacking up those Qs. And Stormbolt Quest has been chosen by Muradin. Interested to see what the answer is going to be to this Deathwing. They've got the Cursed Bullet, but honestly, that's about it. They're going to be relying a lot on Medivh poke. So Deathwing is going to be looking pretty immortal this game. But if they can't handle the cheese, I Must Feed could be in some trouble. Is Deathwing going to go down to the bottom lane versus Stitches here? Miles going to be working in the top lane versus Greymane. And the 3v3 will continue. Life DG pushed back by the Hungering Arrow of Listerfiend. And we're going to see these camps come up. Listerfiend and Night Knight heading over to the right side. Greymane currently stuck in the top lane. These are their main camp clear. So I'm interested to see whether we're going to see a Brightwing teleport with Last Dispatch peeling on out of there, or if Rise and Grind is simply not going to prioritize the camp here. Right now, Johanna and Brightwing, looks like they're going to bite the bullet and start working on that. It's going to take them quite a while to clear that away, unfortunately. So I Must Feed ahead on these camp rotations. Eris may get the better of this engage over time here. Sudden Bears does not have the same level of self-regeneration as Eris does, for sure. Right now, Miles doing well versus Last Dispatch. John Goodman not able to find the Stormbolt onto Greymane. And the push in the mid lane is looking pretty excessive here, as the Gnolls are already on this front wall. The opposing Gnoll camp now starts to move up. There's the root from Anduin. Right now, Medivh already on 27 stacks out of 40 here at the 2-minute mark. Sudden Bear's putting some big damage onto Stitches here. Eris could be in some trouble. Needs to find another chomp in order to heal back up. Gonna stick with the well for now. Sudden Bear's on 1 Elementium plate. Brother Nature on 34 stacks. There's 35. And I think Medivh's going to be finishing up this quest pretty quickly here. Checking back in on the bottom lane. Looks like Eris used that well to heal back up. Sudden Bears still sitting on 1 plate. Has to hit Stitches with that Flame Burst. If they want to heal back up other than going into the air. Miles is discovered behind the wall. Gnoll camp once again being picked up here by I Must Feed, getting that right on time. Looks like John Goodman going to try to force back Life DG and Brother Nature here. As Eris has to come up from the bottom lane, and Deathwing with that global capability. Actually healed back up with the well, still missing the plating, but can go right back into the sky if necessary. Looks like John Goodman thinking about the engage. Medivh at 38 stacks. 8 stacks here for Murden. Did pick up the Reverberation to try to slow down the Greymane here on level 4. Level 7 has arrived for I Must Feed. Brother Nature clearing up that top wave. We're going to see Last Dispatch move onto the left side Gnoll camp, as the rest of Rise and Grind wants to find level 7 here. Medivh just needs 2 more hits to finish that quest. Oh, there's the hook over the wall from Eris onto Miles, but just a mild inconvenience for now. Listerfiend looking for the channel, going to be interrupted by DG. Condemn onto 3 members of I Must Feed. Brother Nature coming out of Raven form has now finished that level 1 quest. Here comes the kill onto Brightwing. I Must Feed going right back in there. Listerfiend gets hooked though. This could be trouble. A Sudden Bear's dropping on down in the back line. Medivh manages to get away through the portal. Sudden Bear's surviving for a long time, but can't live for that long. Putting the damage onto the back line. Oh, the lunge is good onto Medivh. Sudden Bear's trying to get away from Eris here. John Goodman being kept alive by Night Knight. There's the polymorph onto Miles. Being slowed by Stitches once again, and Miles was going to heal on up with that Whirlwind. Deathwing having to tap, waiting for the next opportunity to fly in. Looks like Rise and Grind going to take the first channel here as Medivh making their way back to the battlefield. Checking in on the experience, a large minion lead has been opened up here for I Must Feed, as Deathwing is back in the sky using those Skyfalls. Trying to heal back up here. Eris will not find the hook. Miles trying to get away from the pressure coming on through for Rise and Grind. Now it's important to remember, the real combo here comes online for level 10 for Rise and Grind. Sudden Bears is in the thick of things, healing right back to full. But already being peeled down here. Last Dispatch is putting out some big damage onto Deathwing. Here comes John Goodman and Miles Night coming on through. Listerfiend now finishing up the camp. And Miles is on the back line, polymorphed by Brightwing. Cataclysm is popped. This could be trouble here for Ivan Drago, having to split away from the rest of the team along with Brother Nature. Deathwing is on the chase, finds the slow onto Ivan Drago. Eris uses the medallion, oh, and manages to get away here. And Deathwing predictably causing havoc here in this matchup. Listerfiend is locked onto Eris. There's Life DG moving on forward. Now Life DG is getting low. Medivh taken out right in the thick of things, trying to get the final hit onto Deathwing. And Sudden Bears is right back into the sky. There's the Skyfalls coming on through. John Goodman going very low, but there's Johanna. Last Dispatch. Dispatch is Muradin. So it's a tank trade with Medivh coming onto the battlefield, and still, the first objective of the game has not been picked up, and we're starting to see the effects of this null camp coming on through for I Must Feed. You see that mercenary experience starting to add up, the minions, there's the hero kills. And level 10 has been achieved by I Must Feed. They're waiting for Night and John Goodman to join the crew. Looking at the heroic options, we do have the avatar for Muradin. It is the Rain of Vengeance from Vala. Rest of the team holding those picks for the meantime. So we see I Must Feed surging across the map as Life DG and Last Dispatch are working on this left null camp. It is going to be the Light Bomb, the Wrath of the Berserker, and the Bellowing Roar for Deathwing. Level 10s have arrived here for Rise and Grind as well, though. We're looking at the Leyline Seal, the Gorge, Cursed Bullet, the Blink Heal, and Blessed Shield. Cataclysm committed here by Sudden Bears. That's a lot of members trapped in the Cataclysm. Greymane is down first. Night was Gorged, but there's the Light Bomb to catch DG. Eris trying to get away, but the stuns and slows are too much. That's 2 kills here for I Must Feed. Brother Nature using the portal, but will not be able to go through it. Pops the protected bubble, and looks like Medivh is going to get away as the Red Raiders are going to be charging down the lanes. I Must Feed looking good here in game number 2. Find the stun onto Johanna, forcing out that Iron Skin once again. Deathwing back in the sky, healing on up. Brother Nature trying to push back Sonya here, but the siege power with this objective and with the hardiness of Sonya is going to be so helpful. Ivan Drago going to come on up here to try to help out. Sonya has to be careful to try to not put any damage onto the heroes here. That's where they could get in trouble. Miles doing a good job of making sure those splashes don't land onto Medivh. Mid fort is going to be going down here for I Must Feed. Top is going to be left for now. Miles thinking about going back in, though, just maintaining pressure in the bush as Night coming on in to help. John Goodman is going to find Ivan Drago on the rotation, but with Medivh there. Oh, there's the Gorge attempt. This could be trouble here for Muradin. Still has the Dwarf Toss to get on out. Avatar popped as well as the Medallion. Listerfiend throws out the Rain of Vengeance. Leyline Seal, but 13 could be coming through. Is it going to be healing static for Muradin? Saved by Night. Leap of Faith onto Muradin. The stun is good. Look at that. Stormbolt onto Last Dispatch. Manages to get away here. Very lucky was Greymane to get away. Very nice portal placement by Medivh. There's the polymorph onto John Goodman trying to heal up. Will be going down here, though. Life DG is the next. Sudden Bear's dropping on in with the Bellowing Roar. That's Greymane down. Using the portal to try to escape, but there's the root onto Ivan Drago. Cataclysm committed once again. But the Blink Heal is going to be enough for Brightwing to get on out of there. So it's a 1-for-1. Muradin for Greymane. I Must Feed. Still looking pretty good here as they head on down towards the bottom lane. Looking potentially at bottom boss here. Miles and Night are on top of it. Rise and Grind is on their left side null camp. They can only assume here that I Must Feed is on their null camp as well. I don't know if they're going to see this coming. Deathwing is in the sky. It looks like Medivh is going to come down here and check. Can I Must Feed do this fast enough? Medivh is going to see it. Leyline is online. Sudden Bears is coming on through. They got to be very careful. They got to spread out here. Night moving off the point. Leyline is out. Night has avoided it. John Goodman as well, and they're going to move on in. There's the bellowing roar. Johanna is going to be down. Sudden Bears is having a field day. So Sonya is going to be next, though. Last Dispatch starting to move out. Brightwing is down. Medivh is down. Last Dispatch gets taken out. And I Must Feed with the 5-player team wipe. Sudden Bears roars to the heavens. They pay the price with Sonya, but a 5-for-1 trade as the prison camps are coming online. And the boss pushes down the bottom lane. Rise and Grind have a very cheeky plan here with the Portal Gorge, but when it comes to a 5-on-5 team fight, so far not been going so well. So I Must Feed taking advantage of their position, going to start up this camp, or this objective I should say, while Rise and Grind is forced to deal with this bottom lane boss. Sudden Bear's clearing away the last of this camp. Miles, thinking about starting the Null camp, decides not to. Wants to come on around as he sees the bottom lane boss is down. We are level 16 to 13 here for I Must Feed, so they're in a very advantageous situation. There it is, the Gorge coming out. Can they get through the portal? Eris takes Vala right into the backline, but the rest of the team is not there. Leyline out to try to stop it, and Lister Fiend will be taken down. Light Bomb from Miles will not catch DG. It is going to be the objective picked up for I Must Feed, but can Life DG get away here? Brother Nature poking in from the edges. Sudden Bears once again right in the thick of things. Portal is out, but Brightwing is down. There goes Stitches. There goes Johanna. Last Dispatch. Oh, there's the Cataclysm. Can Miles hit it? Oh, the Stormbolt is not going to be enough. That's a 3-for-1 coming out for I Must Feed, and another set of objective raiders pushing on to all 3 keeps. Brother Nature just trying to get the poke damage out as much as possible. Rooted by Anduin. Forces out the protected bubble. And the Raider is here in the mid lane. Vala going to try to catch up with the rest of I Must Feed. The 3-level lead is still here. The scaling going to be very important as Rise and Grind is up and ready for the defense. Look at that Molten Breath coming out from Sudden Bears, but executed by the Cursed Bullet is Deathwing. John Goodman could be in some trouble here. There's the Light Bomb onto John Goodman. Will catch Medivh, and that's Medivh going down. Such unfortunate timing coming through that portal right as the Light Bomb went off, but the counter kill onto Anduin is good. There goes Greymane. It's a total bloodbath. Eris has been locked onto. Stitches is down. DG and Ivan Drago trying to get away here. But it's a 3-2 kills for IMF once again. And with this objective pushing in, it looks like we may have a triple keep play here. 2 are down. Looks like the top objective will not finish it. With Medivh coming up now, I Must Feed is going to have to back off. Sonya is going to work on this keep wall. It looks like that may be all they're going to get. Greymane and Stitches coming up very soon. Deathwing manages to throw the Skyfalls to finish off that keep wall. Now I Must Feed. Gonna start to head on back, think about their Null camp here. They've got a 6-to-1 structure advantage. The passive experience is gonna start absolutely ramping up here towards level 20. As Medivh gonna head up to check top boss. We'll find no one there. This time it is just the Null camp here for I Must Feed. Null camp on the left-hand side for Rise and Grind. Going to be taken here by Eris and Ivan Drago. Bottom lane going to be cleared up by the boss, and look at that. Medivh is on the point, but the rest of Rise and Grind may not be able to get here in time. Medivh is there waiting, trying to ward away the members of I Must Feed. John Goodman trying to stay away from that ley line. Last Dispatch and Eris show in lane. The boss is about to be down. There's the ley line. Brother Nature just has to move on, but there's Night Knight onto the point. Cursed Bullet goes out, and we're going to have another fight over this point. Vala manages to get out of the Gorge. Eris staying alive, but there's the boss down. Deathwing is out. There goes Stitches. There goes Johanna. Last Dispatch trying to get away. Ivan Drago will not make it out. Brother Nature going to portal, and it's another 3-for-1 for I Must Feed. This boss is going to be pushing onto the only keep remaining. Level 20 has been achieved by I Must Feed. Still, they've got 30 seconds. They've got the other lanes pretty well pushed in. It looks like they're going to take this keep. There's the stun on the Medivh. If they can get this kill, maybe this is core. The follow-up route is perfect, and Medivh is down. Bottom keep's going to go here, and I think this could be a core call. The other lanes are pushing right in. They're going to be on top of the core in no time. There's no shielding left. And I Must Feed are going to push onto the core. They've got 3 lanes of pressure and a boss. Rise and Grind is here for the defense, but there's just not enough time. I Must Feed strikes back and picks up game number 2. GG. $22 kills to 8. I Must Feed managed to stay together, managed to push their way into the abduction comp coming out from Rise and Grind and pick up the victory there in game number 2. Sudden Bears on the Deathwing leading the way on the hero damage, nearly 65,000. Coming on out there for I Must Feed. It was Brother Nature on the Medivh leading the way on the hero damage for Rise and Grind. A valiant effort there, but they just never really got the chance to execute that combo. They got the 1 kill onto Vala one fight, but the stun follow-up, the root follow-up, and just the Deathwing being a giant thorn in the side was too much to deal with. Another quick look at the talents, and then we'll get set up for game number 3. All right, that's game number 2. I Must Feed strike back on Alterac Pass and even up this series. We're going to be going to the rubber match, but before that, we're going to take a quick break, so don't go far. Alrighty, getting ready to go here for game number 3 between Rise and Grind and I Must Feed. Rise and Grind took game number 1, but I Must Feed struck back. And we're going to be going into a game number 3 here in this best of 3. Looks like our lobby is about ready to go. Just need to change that. There we go. Let's jump over to the maps. Remind you of the state of this series. Cursed Hollow, Braxis Holdout, Towers of Doom, and Tomb of the Spider Queen were banned away for this series. Infernal Shrines was chosen and won by Rise and Grind. Rise and Grind then took us to Alterac Pass, but it was I Must Feed came out with the victory, and now I Must Feed is chosen to go to Volskaya Foundry for game number 3. And we've got a draft, so let's go visit. Ah, what a day. What a day. Rise and Grind will be first to act for this game number 3. We'll see if they want to ban away any of the heroes from last game. I would guess that game number 2 didn't give them a whole lot of info in terms of comfort picks from I Must Feed. We're going to see the Diva ban once again as they tried a very specific strategy there. I Must Feed has shown no wavering in their want to ban Cassia, so that's what I'm expecting here. And there it is. The Amazon is gone. Emma's gone. Gonazon. That's much better. Cassia is a Gonazon. Rise and Grind with their next ban here. We'll be interested to see. Do they ban Deathwing? Do they have something else they don't want to see? I know a particular Mal'Ganis player on I Must Feed. If they're going to stick with the 2. They don't want to see Deckard Cain coming out here for Night Knight. Which makes sense a lot more in Volskaya Foundry for sure, and we're going to see that Mephisto ban from I Must Feed once again. So well scouted are these 2 teams. There's a lot of data available for these teams as a group, as we're now all the way into week number 7 here in the NGS. Last Dispatch is going to prioritize the Li Ming here. Can definitely do a lot of work on Volskaya Foundry. Night Knight is going to snap up the Ana. Come on, show me the Mal'Ganis. I want to see it. Mal'Ganis. Mal'Ganis. Ooh. Tank player John Goodman locking in the Blaze. That doesn't necessarily mean it's a main tank Blaze. That could be switched off to Sudden Bears. Could be a little bit of a misdirection here. John Goodman is the tank player. So we may have a main tank Blaze coming on through. But that's going to make Rise and Grind stop and think for a moment. Eris is going to grab the Lucio here in game number 3. And Life DG is going to be playing the Diablo. So Life DG playing Brightwing in the first game has now played 2 tanks in a row. So maybe I had them pegged wrong. Vala going to be banned away by I Must Feed. Do not want to see that again. Eris is, I think Rise and Grind has been rotating roles very frequently here. Now Eris is on the Lucio. So Vala stitches Lucio, played by Eris this series, unless they do come some kind of switchery. Rise and Grind gonna ban away the Mei. So they believe Blaze to be an off-lane pick, which may be very true. So we see I Must Feed are next to reveal their picks. They see the Lucio Diablo, they see the Li Ming Kicker. Interested to see what their setup for Ana is going to be. They're going to go straight into Cho Gall. Sudden Bears playing the Cho. Lister Fiend is on the Gall. So there it is. We've got the Ana Cho Gall business with Blaze in the off lane. Miles just needs to bring a little bit of damage. Greymane's still on the board here. Could see that come through for Rise and Grind. They've got a couple of options that they can pick here. Diablo's not a bad fit into Gall either, or into Cho'Gall. Brother Nature going to be taking Hanzo, and Ivan Drago going to be on the Thrall. Hanzo can peel away some of that Cho'Gall armor. Diablo with the life-leeching auto attacks can do some good work. But that's a lot of power. What do I want to see? I'm gonna take Greymane. I was thinking Tassadar. That's what I was thinking. But it'll be Greymane. Gonna go ahead and take that for the camp clear, for the map control. Alrighty, Rise and Grind versus I Must Feed. We saw the Abduct comp, now we see the super-powered Cho'Gall. Who will come out ahead in this game number 3? It's Rise and Grind versus I Must Feed on Volskaya Foundry. Here we go. Alrighty, game number 3. There's been some memery supremery, and it's not over yet. On the left in the blue, we have Rise and Grind with Brother Nature on the Hanzo. Eris is playing Lucio. Ivan Drago on the Thrall. Life DG on the Diablo. And Last Dispatch is playing Li Ming. On the right in the red, we have I Must Feed with Sudden Bears on the Blaze. It's Joeen on the Cho'Gall. Night Knight is playing Ana, and Miles is on the Greymane.
Let the battle begin.
Here we go. Game number 3. Rise and Grind versus I Must Feed. Lucio stacking up that Aura quest on 1. Hanzo going to be going for the Redemption auto attack quest on level 1. Looks like Brother Nature just happy to auto-attack into that Cho'Gall all day long. Both teams working on their wave clear in the early going. Sudden Bears can't find the impact, but Joeen will be stunned by Life DG. And Cho'Gall gonna have to get on out of there as Ivan Drago actually taking a ton of damage here. No kills in the early going though. We're gonna see Blaze headed to the bottom lane. Gonna see our teams start their rotations. I'm a little worried about the rotational wave clear here of I Must Feed. That's why I was kind of hoping for that Tassadar last pick, because their main wave clear in Blaze is now kind of stuck in the bottom lane. Greymane's not bad, but he's definitely not the safest wave clear in the world. We're going to see Ana and Greymane move on to the turret camp on the right-hand side. The rest of Rise and Grind just catching up on these minion rotations. Cho'Gall catching that hero XP. See Brother Nature onto the left side turret camp as well. And the very standard early goings here on Volskaya Foundry are underway. Looks like we have a big rotation coming in for I Must Feed. That's a full crew. Sudden Bears is here as well, looking for the jet propulsion. Finds the stun onto Diablo, but it looks like Eris is gonna get away. No, Gall is there with the damage. Life DG could be next. Another shot from Gall will not be quite enough. So a heavy rotation from I Must Feed finds the kill, and they're gonna try to get onto this heal camp. Oh, the sleep stun is there. Joeen is in there. Brother Nature. Oh, the trade of Hanzo. Allowing Brother Nature to get on out of there. It's going to be a heal camp going over to I Must Feed. And all the while, Ivan Drago with some siege damage. Very nicely done. Good map play here by Drago. Sudden Bears. Oh, a pixel away from the jet propulsion. Will not find the connection there. As I arch my back, goodness me. Sudden Bears working on Thrall, Ivan Drago in the bottom lane. Looks like Rise and Grind are going to go ahead and pick up their siege camp on the left-hand side. Miles for I Must Feed, doing the same on the right. All super standard here on Volskaya Foundry. Night Knight gonna come ahead and help that out. Eris looking for a possible rotation along the outside here. Tree Glob is online. Both teams still pretty far away from level 7 here. We'll see what the priority is going to be here on the top lane as well. Looks like Joeen is going to work on this siege camp. Sudden Bears looking for the jet propulsion onto Life DG, will not get it. And Cho'Gall is going to clear this away and allow that top lane push. We'll see when Rise and Grind wants to respond to that siege camp, as they're starting to prioritize the objective. Looking for level 7 are both teams here. We see Blaze in the bottom lane, trying to get that last little bit of minion XP. Oh, there they go. Thrall in the top lane is going to be dealing with that push, so we've got a collapse here. 5v4 here for I Must Feed. They're going to take control of this point. Level 7 has been achieved for I Must Feed. Brother Nature going to go on up there and help out Ivan Drago. So Night Knight maintains the channel on the point for the red team. Grabbing a second turret here as I Must Feed. Last Dispatch is thinking about it, but wants a little bit of help. Ivan Drago and Eris. Gonna head down to the bottom lane and then start on their turret camp. And once the second turrets are taken, oh, Joeen isn't waiting. They're gonna go straight in there. Drops the heal camp on the point, and they're coming in. Ivan Drago taking huge damage. Thrall's gonna be first to fall in this fight. Life DG just getting slowed at body block. That's Diablo down. There goes Hanzo, a triple kill coming in for I Must Feed. And this is not what you want to see if you're Rise and Grind. The big key when you're fighting this Cho'Gall comp is you want to be as far ahead as possible by the time level 16 is here. They're behind on XP. They're going to be losing this first Protector. They're definitely not down and out yet. But this is not the start that they were hoping for. We're going to see Cho'Gall and Ana in the Protector, leaving only Greymane and Blaze outside. Mid-fort wall is gone. We're going to see the Protector head on up to the top lane. Miles is already laying up the damage. Greymane's going to have to be careful with the counter engage here. Going right after Ivan Drago here. Life DG gets the overpower. Unstoppable is poppable on the Greymane. This Protector already down to half health. They're trying to get this well. Looks like the Protector's not going to get a whole lot done here without Cho'Gall to frontline. Just trying to come in and teamfight a little bit. Sudden Bears is coming from the outside. Oh, it's a big double stun. Gall's casting from inside the Protector. There goes Thrall. There goes Lucio. And the level 10s come in handy here for I Must Feed, and they may not be done. Sleep Dart does not land onto Brother Nature. Hanzo is just shelling I Must Feed here. Sudden Bears gets the stun onto Light DG. The follow-up is good. Diablo is down. It's a triple kill from I Must Feed, and they're going to be working on this fort. Miles is locked in. Joeen is right onto the backline of Brother Nature. Look at that damage! Hanzo down! And that's a delayed kill here from I Must Feed, and they're going to go ahead and just say, hey, while we're here, don't mind if I do. They're going to steal away this camp. 11-9 here for the Ana Cho'Gall comp. Speaking of the heroics, I Must Feed looking at the Twilight Hammer, the Go for the Throat, Nano Boost, Twisting Nether, and the Bunker for Blaze. Level 10 is about to be here for Rise and Grind as well. We see a 12-9 advantage, going to be a 12-10 here in just a moment. As Joeen's just throwing in those bowling balls. Rise and Grind get their heroic options. It's going to be the Apocalypse, the Earthquake. Coming out for Thrall, Dragon Arrow for Hanzo. The right side turret camp has been picked up. We may see another invade here. Joeen running right across the map. I think Cho'Gall can get onto this point. They just go ahead and steal the turret. Very nicely done. It is the Sound Barrier and the Disintegration Beam coming in for Lucio and Li Ming. So I Must Feed says, that's a nice turret, we'll go ahead and take it. And they are fully stacked up here. Every member holding a holding an item. So they're gonna have to find an opportunity to use them before the turret and heal camp are back up here. Right side siege going to complete the mercenary map picture for I Must Feed. Linehouse coming in with the big raid. Hope you had a good cast, my friend. We are looking at game number 3 between I Must Feed and Rise and Grind right now. Oh, there's the Dragon Arrow onto the back line. Apocalypse coming out as well is going to find the stun onto Cho'Gall. Joeen is down. The long distance engage here from Rise and Grind. There's the Earthquake to chase. Miles, I don't think is going to make it out of here. That's a triple kill coming in for Rise and Grind. Great job using those long-range heroics. The Global of Apocalypse following up the global range of Dragon Arrow. And all of a sudden, Rise and Grind may not be done here. They're fighting back. Control point B is going to be quickly controlled by Ivan Drago. Sudden Bear is going to be pushing in the bottom lane, trying to get some value, waiting for Greymane and Cho'Gall to rejoin the fight. Looks like there may just be a bottom lane push. I Must Feed is flocking everyone to the bottom lane here. They're going to leave Rise and Grind up on this point. Cho'Gall is going to show in lane. Night coming on through, and now they see it. Rise and Grind going to commit Li Ming to the defense. Hanzo coming as well. Thrall going to stay on the point, but Rise and Grind has got a long way to run, and this bottom fort may be in trouble. Miles is locked in here. Diablo still in the mid lane. There's the Dragon Arrow from Brother Nature. Fort is down. Thrall is going to be picking up this Protector B. And I Must Feed. Just going to get some big damage here in the bottom lane. Sleep Dart will not catch Eris. The siege continues. Thrall is going to pick up Protector B and try to come on down here to help. Joeen repositioning here, trying to get as much damage onto this keep wall as possible. Brother Nature taking some big poke there from the cocktail of Greymane and the constant barrage of Gall. Oh, the stuns from Bears are in. There's the ults. Hanzo is down. Lucio is down. There's the counter with the Apocalypse, but there goes Diablo. And that's 3 members down. Diablo will be back on the battlefield with souls reset, and this push continues. It's going to be 16-14 on the levels very soon here for I Must Feed. Bottom keep absolutely going to be going down here. There it goes. I Must Feed, they got to be thinking about core. Lucio and Hanzo are going to be up, but they are here and ready to go. They've got the 16-14. Can they do it? Cho'Gall's going to try to move in. Sudden Bears does not connect with the jet propulsion. All of a sudden, this may not be a great idea. Miles goes in and gets the kill on the Diablo. The sound barrier not there in time. Core shielding is gone. Miles is moving in from the side. Sudden Bears wants to find the kill onto Brother Nature. Here comes Thrall with that protector to try to defend. Sudden Bears has to peel on out. Core down to 64%, and I Must Feed has to start to leave. Or are they? Are turning around. Eris gets stunned, and Lucio's down. Joeen taking some big damage there from last dispatch. That's Thrall out. Cho'Gall still alive. It's Hanzo, it's Li Ming. Diablo's back on the battlefield. Brother Nature, very low health here, and the core push is going to continue. Miles has to be careful. Watch for those hands. Watch for the big burst coming in from Hanzo Li Ming. We're 40% on the core, and this looks like it could be it. 3 members pushed away from the core. There goes Blaze. Oh no, they may have gone and botched it. 16% on the core. Joeen is locked on. The Cho'Gall ability is out, and that's gonna do it. I Must Feed come all the way back and take the series 2-1. GG. That was a tough push to finish. I Must Feed. They were in, they were out, they got the turn, they got the kill, and things were looking pretty dire there when they all got pushed off the core, but they managed to move up. Gall and Cho laying in the damage and picking up the victory for I Must Feed. 15 kills to 5 there for our winning team. Gall leading the way on hero damage, nearly 40,000 put out by Listerfiend. Last dispatch, bringing the pain as well. 36,500 hero damage, actually leading in all categories there with the siege and the experience gained. Very nice job there for Rise and Grind. They had a plan. They almost got it done. They got a great engage there in the middle lane, trying to turn things around. But in the end, the nano-boosted Cho'Gall was just too much to deal with, and they fall in game number 3. Grab a quick look at the talent screen, and then we'll see if we can get an interview with our winning squad. Alrighty, that is our series. Let's see if we can find ourselves an interview here with I Must Feed. Keep an eye on the lobby. Hope everyone in chat had a great time today watching this series. There was a definite spice back and forth. The reverse sweep, couldn't ask for much more in a series there. And I'm joined by John Goodman. Congratulations on the win. Welcome.
Hey, Crush. How's it going?
Going great. Gotta feel good coming back from down 0-1, bringing in the 2-1 victory there.
Yeah, it didn't feel too good after that first game. That was we had a lot of fun in the second two, though. We tried some stuff and it paid off.
Very nicely done for sure. First game not quite going your way. Absolutely the most standard game of the 3 on Infernal Shrines. Did you feel like there was a particular draft choice that went wrong? Some macro choices, or was it just kind of a not your game kind of situation there in game number 1?
Infernal Shrines is like their best map, or they have a lot of success on it. They play it a lot and they win a lot on it. So they definitely had a better strategy going into it, and we just kind of we failed to execute some things in the team fight. And I actually think I looked at the draft and I said I think I like our draft better, but didn't play out that way in the game. So that's why you got to play them.
Sometimes the best laid plans don't go right. You saw game number 1 not going your way, but going into Alterac Pass, you saw the draft developing there, and you answered with the Deathwing coming on in, being very, very effective there for Sudden Bears. Is there a lot of Deathwing in your game history, or was that just sort of a this should work here kind of pick?
No, Bears is really good at Deathwing. He played it a lot, and he's really good at the W build on Deathwing. You get in and people get around you, and we looked at their draft and saw, double tank and Medivh, and just kind of were like, they're not going to be able to kill Deathwing even if they pick Greymane here, and they did. And I think just the Deathwing with his build and the Muradin with Bronzebeard on a couple of those boss fights, we were able just to sit on the point and kind of sustain through all their damage and just do a little more.
It was interesting that we saw the pressure onto the boss pits there coming in from Rise and Grind, considering their style. What do you feel like was the key in making sure that those bosses didn't go sideways for you there on Alterac Pass?
Well, we had 3 big bodies, right? I think we had Sonya, Muradin, and Deathwing. So, if we could just stay on the boss point, with Vala killing the boss and killing everything else that came in, we felt pretty confident, like, just in our ability to sit in one spot and sustain a little longer than they could. It was a good comp, and we were nervous about the kidnap plays. They managed to get a couple off and got some kills. But we just decided to try and be aggressive in the macro, in both the second games, and that's what we did.
Very nicely executed indeed there on Alterac Pass, and then the memeing was not done on a Cho'Gall. I mean, I hesitate to call it a meme. It's been extremely effective since the last Cho'Gall patch. Were you surprised to be ahead in the early game with that comp? Because that's usually with the big Cho'Gall Ana, it's can you get level 16? You're expecting to be behind in the early game, and then level 16 you break out. But you saw just really owning the map there from start to finish. What was going on with the macro calls, with the rotations, where you feel like you were able to get ahead in that early game?
Yeah, we saw a couple opportunities for some aggressive camp invades in the early game, where they might have had somebody in the far lane. We realized they were doing camp, and we had all 5 mid, so we just decided to bum rush it and go for it. And I think we did it twice, and it paid off both times early. And I think that's how we wound up getting the early objective. And yeah, Barris did a great job catching a lot of soak, and Miles on Greymane is able to just go off and do camps and catch a lot of soak. So it worked out really good that game for us. The Cho'Gall was Sudden Bears' idea. He's been trying to get us to play that for 3 seasons now. It's the first time we indulged him in an actual match, and it worked out pretty good. He's just so strong right now.
Absolutely, definitely went very well there. Talk to me a little bit about the Greymane pick with that comp, because I mean the core there, obviously the Ana Cho'Gall Blaze great in the off lane, provides some CC, provides some double soak value. So there's a lot of different options you can put in that 5th spot. Where did you feel like Greymane had an advantage over another pick in that situation?
To be honest, we wanted the Li Ming, but they first picked it. So we were kind of in disarray in draft, trying to figure out what we were going to do. Miles was coming in off the bench tonight, so to speak. He's been our sub player this season, but he's been great for us whenever he has had to come in. We had him heal for game 1. We had him play a bruiser game 2 and an assassin in game 3. So he's a great Greymane player. So we just let's put everybody on their best heroes, and Greymane kind of works in the comp. So that's how we went for it.
All right, yeah, definitely going with comforts when you're trying something new, making sure that you've got sort of a rock there to work from. Definitely makes a lot of sense. Very cool. All right, so you come all the way back for the 2-1. That's going to definitely help your potential playoff run here as we head into the final weeks here in NGS. Are there any upcoming matches or any upcoming opponents that you're most looking forward to here?
We're looking forward to the game against Probius Strikes Back, the last game of the season. We had a pretty good matchup against them in XGDI this off season, and they're doing really well this season. So we're really looking forward to that one, and I think it'll have huge implications because the rest of the games this year are going to be tough for us. All the teams we have left to play are really high in the rankings. They're all above us, so we're going to have to scrap out some more wins if we want to get a better playoff spot or even get into the playoffs.
All right. Well, focusing on a map here, a map there, and a key series win is definitely the way to go.
Exactly.
All right. So thank you very much for coming on by. Are there any shout outs you'd like to make before we get out of here?
Yeah, a big shout out to my team for showing up to play tonight. Everybody played everything really well, and it was just a well executed game plan in 2 and 3, even if we sort of drew it up on the fly. So yeah, big shout out to my guys. Everybody came to play tonight.
Fantastic. All right. Awesome to hear. John, thank you very much for joining me, and good luck going forward.
Yeah, thanks you too, Crush. Thanks for the cast.
My pleasure. Have a good one.
See ya.